Welcome to the It Factor. We're Jemmy and Nye exploring a new blog post by Mr. Len Kaplan, CEO of CDML, a managed service provider in Queens, NY, offering network management, voice over IP, unified communications as a service, cybersecurity, compliance, infrastructure as a service, cloud solutions, and Microsoft 365 and Azure solutions. If you're a small business owner or manage IT for a growing organization, this episode is for you. So, our mission for this deep dive is unpacking Len's latest article titled Cyber Safety is Patient Safety, What Medical Offices and Patients Need to Know. And hey, if you find this breakdown helpful, please click that thumbs up button for us.
Yeah, and it is such a critical read right now. I mean, we're looking at this fundamental shift in how we view cyber threats in healthcare.
Right, because I think most people just assume a cyber attack means, I pay AA fines or some stolen data.
Exactly, but the reality is actually far more severe than that. These attacks, they physically halt patient care.
Oh, wow. I mean, that is terrifying. So I want to focus on how this actually happens to everyday practices.
Yeah, let's get right into it.
Because, you go out and buy this heavy steel vault to protect your local network, right? But then it feels like you're just handing the combination over to, well, a careless contractor. How do practices get compromised when they aren't even the primary target?
Well, let's take that vault analogy a step further. The contractor didn't just get the combination. They basically connected your vault directly to a public highway.
Wait, a public highway? What do you mean by that?
It happens through what we call the vendor web.
Mm-hmm.
Medical practices rely so heavily on third-party EHR providers, billing companies, cloud apps, all of that.
Oh, right, because you absolutely need those just to run
The entire office, exactly. And these vendors often require trusted API access or shared credentials just to do their jobs, which essentially acts as this open back door right into the clinic's core network.
Okay, yeah. Because looking at the fallout from the recent unlimited technology systems breach, I mean, over 3.8 million people were exposed.
Yeah, it's massive.
And the crazy part is most of those patients had never even heard of that company in their lives.
Right. And the underlying mechanism there is exactly what makes this so dangerous. Their doctors trusted unlimited technology systems with, financial and revenue cycle software.
Right, which connects to everything.
Precisely. So once the vendor systems were compromised, that interconnected access allowed hackers to just slip right past the doctor's local defenses.
So basically, your security perimeter is truly only as strong as the weakest billing partner you're connected to.
That is exactly it. Your risk spreads invisibly.
So because you can't fully control your vendor's security, you kind of have to assume they will eventually fail, right?
You have to. You absolutely have to prepare for it.
So when that back door gets exploited and ransomware just locks everything up, what is the immediate operational reality?
Well, when the technology stops, the care stops. It's that simple. Ransomware doesn't just steal data anymore. It actively encrypts all those interconnected networks.
Like what happened in the February 2026 University of Mississippi Medical Center attack? They had to completely close, 3 dozen clinics?
Yeah, 3 dozen. Because this means your voice over IP phone systems drop, your internet routing fails, and your scheduling software just vanishes.
Oh, man, that is an absolute nightmare.
It really is. And this is exactly why Len Kaplan stresses the urgent need for what he calls minimum viable operations.
Meaning identifying the absolute bare minimum you need to keep patients safe when the screens literally go black.
Yes. You must have a physical, printed downtime plan.
Printed, like on actual paper.
Yes, physical paper. Because if the network is dead, how do you handle paper check-ins? How do you safely route urgent prescriptions? Or even communicate with your own staff across the building?
Wow, yeah, I guess if your downtime instructions are saved on a server you can no longer access, you effectively have no plan at all.
Exactly. You're flying totally blind.
Okay, I hear you on building this resilience program, but let's be real about the audience for a second. For a small IT team in a growing clinic, they barely have time to reset passwords and keep the printers running.
Tell me about it. It's nonstop.
Let alone conduct, strict vendor risk reviews. Doesn't HIPAA compliance usually just devolve into a dusty binder sitting on a shelf somewhere to satisfy an auditor?
It absolutely does. And listen, hackers are actively counting on that exact fatigue. But a dusty binder won't save a clinic when their voice-over IP system goes down.
Right, the binder doesn't route emergency calls.
Exactly. Compliance has to evolve into active working resilience. That means implementing absolute non-negotiables like multi-factor authentication on every account, managed endpoint protection, and yes, thoroughly evaluating the vendors you give API access to.
And, we should remind everyone that CDML publishes new blog posts every Tuesday and Thursday covering essential topics just like this.
Yeah, it's such a great resource to stay on top of these things.
For sure. You can stay ahead of these threats by visiting cdml.com and subscribing to the blog. But back to resilience, patients are actually part of that perimeter too, right?
They absolutely are. Because hackers use stolen data to target patients directly with fake payment requests.
Oh, so patients need to be hypervigilant too, like verifying suspicious text by calling trusted clinic numbers rather than just clicking random links.
Yes, security is a shared responsibility across the entire chain.
Yeah.
From the IT team down to the patient.
Makes total sense.
But before we wrap up, consider this. We talked about having a physically printed downtime plan.
Right, the paper copies.
Yeah, but if ransomware strikes today and your entire digital infrastructure vanishes in an instant, is your staff actually prepared to execute complex manual triage under extreme pressure without making a life-threatening error?
Oh, wow. That's a terrifying thought. So a printed plan is completely useless if the team hasn't actually rehearsed it?
Precisely. The rehearsal is just as important as the plan itself.
Wow. Lots to think about there. We're Jemmy and I. Thanks for listening. Till next time.